this is one that popped up, and it's a kind of a continuation of the story I covered the other day with J.J. Abrams talking about what he has to do in order to get episode 9 on track and how there wasn't really a plan. And that was a big deal in my opinion. And I still think it's a big deal, predominantly because when you have a multi-billion-dollar franchise based off of a multi-billion-dollar purchase, you go into that thing with a damn plan. You go in there with a damn plan. If you don't have a plan, what is you doing? And so JJ now is trying to very much, I guess you could say feign confidence, if anything. If anything, definitely feigning confidence in his movie. Now, there are people out there that are going to look at this and go, come on, JJ. Like, Force Awakens wasn't very good. Last Jedi was even worse. But they don't want to sit there and really, give him any credit, I don't think, which is unfortunate. So he says here that episode 9 might be something incredibly special. Well, it already is if you think about it. I mean, no. If you really, really, really think about it, episode 9 is something that is incredibly special. For one, it's the 9th Star Wars movie. 2, it's the 5th Star Wars movie since 2015, which is still something special because we didn't get that many before. And then it's continuing out the saga, finishing up the Skywalker saga, and opening the door to the future of the franchise. It's got to be something incredibly special. If not, it's going to be a bad place for Star Wars. It absolutely is. So he goes on to talk more about, I already covered this the other day, but he says here, this is something that wasn't in that piece of the interview I looked at. Now he goes, however, to answer your question truly finally, now that I'm back, and this is dealing with everything involving coming into it without a script, with Rian Johnson advancing the story in a different direction and everything else. He says, the difference is I feel like we might have done it. Like I feel like this crazy challenge that could have been wildly uncomfortable contortion of ideas and kind of shoving in answers and band-aids and bridges and all the things that would have felt messy. Strangely, we're sort of relentless and almost unbearably disciplined about the story and forcing ourselves to question and answer some fundamental things that at the beginning, I had absolutely no idea how, or no clue how we would begin to address. I feel like we've gotten to a place without jinxing anything or sounding more confident than I deserve to be. I feel like we're in a place where we might have something incredibly special. So I feel relief being home, and I feel gratitude that I got to do it. And more than anything, I'm excited about what I think we might have. Now, JJ is always going to be talking things up, and a lot of people have accurately, in my opinion, accurately made the criticism that, JJ has not finished anything just yet properly. He did, Star Wars or Star Trek and Into Darkness, set some stuff up, but then Beyond was done by Justin Lin as almost an entirely different film. It felt like not something, even though it was connected to the franchise, it still kind of felt different from the franchise, which was fine. I loved Beyond. I also enjoyed Star Trek, which interestingly enough is 10 years old next month. And I enjoyed Into Darkness as well. So I have no problem with those movies. But see, the thing here, when he says, I actually feel like this crazy challenge that could have been a wildly uncomfortable contortion of ideas and a kind of shoving in answers and band-aids and bridges and things that would have felt messy. Now, obviously, we know what he's referring to here, right? We know what he is referring to. He is being very careful to not throw the previous director under the bus. He's being very careful to not do that. But he's saying that there's that this challenge was ultimately about shoving in answers and band-aids and bridges, taking it back to maybe more like episode 7, making it more for the fans, not trying to subvert expectations. And he feels, I think he is maybe saying right here that he feels like, well, they've done it, perhaps. Perhaps JJ has actually been able to crack that code. Now, people do their best work when they're under pressure. That's at least my take on it. People always do their best work when they're under pressure. And I think that when it comes to something like this, when you're given a release date that you don't have a script for, because apparently the people behind the scenes didn't plan for that to be a thing. Okay, fine, whatever. They didn't plan for that to be a reality, to be a solid reality, but they still have this hard-lined release date. There's billions of dollars on the line. You've got to finish up telling a story that you had planned a certain arc for, which he did, and that wasn't even followed. And where Rian Johnson took it, messed a whole bunch of things up. You lost the previous director. Kathleen Kennedy has no control over what's going on at Lucasfilm. And you come in and you're like, I got to make this thing a thing. And like I said, when you're under that kind of deadline, when you're under that kind of pressure, oftentimes people's best work comes out. So the question then becomes, is Star Wars Episode 9 going to be something incredibly special? And I think we will find out tomorrow morning. And I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to see what brings